let's talk about what everyone wants to talk about. Special teams. I like
Travis
talking
Benjamin.
about special teams. Yeah, Travis Benjamin. So Trent Taylor's gone. Richie James Jr. kind of got demoted last year, but he could be the guy. Who do you think will be returning punts for the 49ers this season?
I think it'll be to
Who
start
will?
Richie. It'll be Richie James to start just because they trust him. But honestly, Ambry Thomas is really a good kick returner. I mean, he had a 90-yard punt return in 2019. That's something that he offers outside of being a cornerback. And I think that's not something that they glossed over when they drafted him. I think that was something that also drew him to him. Not only the fact that he can lock up man-to-man, but he can actually return punts. So, I'll say Richie James just because that's what's in front of me right now. But that Travis Benjamin thing is really bothering me because it's absolutely true. Like I said, he opted out and coach is like, yeah, keep him on the roster. But Ambry Thomas
need him.
Right. I just oh my goodness. But Ambry Thomas is actually somebody who can do that. And I would like to see him get a shot maybe in preseason. If he electrifies a little bit, let's say he gets a nice little punt return, or maybe, that's the problem, right? People dismiss punt returning, right? But a good punt returner can flip fields for you, put you in advantageous situations. So I think that's something the 49ers
Those are
have been
first
missing.
downs.
Right.
Hidden yardage. It
Right.
makes life easier on your offense. And I don't understand why Kyle's so scary about it. It's like, stop telling River Craycraft to call for a fair catch with no one around him. I think it's going to be River Craycraft. I think it's going to be River Craycraft. I think Kyle hasn't changed, man.
He's not going anywhere either.
I know, man. They like River Craycraft. Like they like Travis Benjamin. And I think they're going to let River Craycraft. I just don't think they trust Richie James Jr. He had that fumble against New Orleans, was it? Something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it is. They just don't trust
I pushed that game
Richie
out of my
James.
mind, honestly.
I know.
That game should have been a 49ers win. They blew that game with so many missed throws, interceptions, fumbles. Just like, ugh.
I feel like Richie James they've lost confidence in him as a returner, and they're going to give River Craycraft a chance. Now, I want to flip the question. Who should return punts next season?
I want Ambry Thomas to get his shot. That's it. That's why I'm caping for him, honestly. Like I said, you watch that 90-yard kick return against Michigan. Jim Harbaugh even used him like with sweeps and on offense. Like that's how dynamic he is with the ball in his hands. So that's my thing, honestly. So that's another thing that you need to pay attention to. So I really wanted to beat Ambry Thomas.
That's cool. It should be Brandon Ayuk, though. It should be Brandon Ayuk.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
No, you're right.
He's the best athlete on the team.
He is, but he can't get hurt. Can't get hurt. Cannot get hurt. Can't get him hurt. Cannot get him hurt.
He's more likely to get hurt playing wide receiver than return.
Probably,
punts, man.
Probably. But I'm going to stick to my narrative, and I'm just going to run with what I just said and keep it there. But you're right about that. Absolutely. But
Tyler Rocket did it for like 5 years.
He did. He did.
Really
but
Antonio Brown used to do it.
Also, Seattle's not that smart. And yes, Antonio Brown did do it. Antonio Brown did do it. So you're right about that.
I'm just saying, Brandon Ayuk might be the best punt returner in the league if he had the chance. I mean, he averaged 16 yards per punt return in college. He's super explosive. I'd like to see it. He got 2 chances last year and averaged 13 yards per return. I think he's athletic enough to protect himself on a punt return.
Good call.
I'd like to see. Come on, stop. Come on. Give him a chance.
Call.
But if he does get hurt, I'm going to delete this video and be like, I never said that was your decision. That was a mistake. All right, same question for kickoffs. Who do you think should return the kickoffs? Now, it's not as important anymore because half of them more than half of them just
they're out of the end zone.
But last year, the returner was Jerick McKinnon. So someone's got to replace him.
I mean, I think that you're right that it kind of doesn't really matter with the kickoffs because they've taken the kickoffs completely out of the game, moving it up. They don't want any sort of, and the worst part is those are some of the most exciting plays, right? Like if you didn't have the kickoff, would Devin Hester have returned the first play in the Super Bowl? Like that was
Cordell Patterson anytime.
Right. Oh man, yeah. I mean, I would have loved to have had him, but he signed with Atlanta. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that this is a little bit less important when it comes to things like that. It'll probably be a hodgepodge of Richie James, Austin Walter's not there anymore. He just got cut. Maybe one of the running backs, something like that. Honestly,
maybe Ambry.
Yeah, maybe Ambry. He'll just be able to like catch the ball and maybe just kneel or just let it go out the back of the end zone. But honestly, kickoffs are less important now because they moved it up and they just end up either through the uprights or out the back of the end zone.
Yeah. I got a name, and you're not going to see this one coming. It's going to surprise you.
Javon Kinlaw.
Brandon Ayuk.
No.
Brandon Ayuk should return the kicks. Come on. Why? It's football, man. He averaged 30 yards per kick return in college, and he didn't return one for a touchdown. He was just breaking off chunk yardage, man. Oh, man. It's too.
You're not wrong.
I feel like we're being deprived of watching. This guy should have the ball in his hands as much as possible.
You're not wrong. I'm just playing scaredy cat with that. Like I just look
again.
How is my prediction of him being the leading receiver on this team going to be fine if he gets injured on a punt return or a kickoff return or something like
This
that?
dude
But no,
should have
but you're right,
2,000 yards all purpose at some
You're
point
right.
in his career.
You're right.
At some point in his career.